everyone. Welcome back here to day one of the iBUYPOWER Masters 2019. As we continue on with the action here on stage, we've got a match to determine who's going to be moving on to the playoffs tomorrow. It's going to be Cloud9 versus Astralis.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely an uphill battle for Cloud9. I don't think there's really any sugarcoating that statement. I mean, Astralis is just the undisputed #1 team in the world. Going up against a Cloud9 team that has been through a lot, I think is really the nicest way to say it. Just, a lot of roster chaos, a lot of rough results, but they did have a really big win against Fnatic just a few moments ago, and definitely I saw them look a little bit revitalized in that game.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the Cloud9 lineup right there, definitely Rush came to play hard, Flusha came to play as well, Zelsis played phenomenal as far as I'm concerned for his first really big showing against a Tier 1 team. Looking at Fnatic, they kind of looked lackluster in that match. Astralis versus Complexity, on the other hand, Astralis just came out swinging, right? That wasn't even in contention. Astralis absolutely smoked them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was to be expected a little bit. Like, you expect Astralis to come out swinging that hard. And we can just take a look at the roster. If anyone out there needs a reminder, there's a few teams coming into this event with all 5 players from the starting roster.
I mean, I think just when you look at this Astralis team, the numbers just really leap off the page on just how incredibly dominant that they are. I mean, this team has played 51 best-of-3 or best-of-5 series and only lost 9. So that means they have won 82% of the series that they've played in Counter-Strike. They've, won 10 of the last 14 tournaments they've attended. They have only placed outside the top 4 a single time out of 16 LAN events. That's their first event together. All 5 of their players are in the HLTV top 15 , actually, because I think Zipix is 13.
Which actually got me really angry. I'm just
Fair enough.
Talk to that point real quick. Okay, all 5 of these players were dominant this year, okay? I was expecting them to be all top 5, maybe top. I was like, this is the one year that we should just give everything to Astralis, because you know what? They took everything last year.
I think you could argue that within their respective roles, they're probably top. I think Device is the most versatile, well-rounded opera. Obviously, Simple's like the flashier, more high skill ceiling, looks amazing, puts up big numbers, but I feel like Device is like the more steady, reliable opping presence. And then, yeah, Dupree's probably the best entry rifler. Mage is probably the best in his role. We know how clutch Zipix is. Glaive considered the best in-game leader right now. So it is certainly true that while I think it's unfair to say they're all in the top 5 because you have guys like Nico and Simple out there playing Counter-Strike, definitely within their respective roles, they sit up top, and the team overall is just the most complete team we may have ever seen in Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
I mean, that brings me to the question, is this the best team we've ever seen in Counter-Strike, period?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
In Counter-Strike or CSGO?
I'm saying Counter-Strike, period.
Oh, okay. I don't know enough 1.6 history to even get in that argument.
I wouldn't go that far to say that they were the best team in Counter-Strike history, because I don't know, man. Some of those 1.6 teams are nasty, and if they went through the time that we're in right now, I think they could have been just as dominant. But I will say that Astralis is definitely probably, maybe arguably SK when SK or LG when the Brazilians were doing their thing. I think Astralis is there, man. I think they're probably. Pardon me?
I would say they're
even above they definitely are. I think the only team that's even close to being like the best team of all time in CSGO is that one Fnatic lineup from late 2014, because they just played more tournaments. This team's still going. That's the big thing you have to think about, is that this team isn't done yet. Any other team you compare them to, their career as a lineup is done. So they don't have any more progress to make. What's Astralis, the sky's the limit.
So, I mean, the question has to be asked about this Astralis roster, though. Who can potentially dethrone them? Is there a team right now that can actually come out and be the team to kind of knock them off their throne?
I think MIBR now, going back to the full Brazilian lineup,
Homer
definitely has the opportunity to do that.
Yeah. But now we're taking a look at the Cloud9 lineup, the team that is, again, coming in as the hometown favorites, obviously, on NA soil here. A lot of Cloud9 fans out there in the crowd. You can hear them for sure. Definitely, yeah, that's right. Cheer it up, definitely. Definitely had a great game against Fnatic. I think the biggest thing I saw in that game that really kind of, I don't know, gave me some hope in them is just the fact that their individuals actually did show up to play in that game, whereas I feel like in a lot of the tournaments towards the end of the year, they were struggling to get performances out of what you would consider their star players. So to see them actually come out looking in good form at least gives me hope that they're going to put some rounds on the board. Now, I think the map is really going to depend on how competitive they can actually be, but at least they came in looking sharp.
If they play Inferno again, this will be in all 4 times that these teams have met, they've literally played Inferno, so we'll be looking on to the 5th time that they're playing Inferno. I don't think that's going to be what it is, but it would be hilarious to see Inferno picked once more.
Now, 2 of those Inferno games were 16-14 victories for Astralis, so Cloud9 did go toe-to-toe with them in at least half the Inferno games they played. The other 2 were a bit more lopsided for Astralis, so it could very well be Inferno again. I mean, I feel like Inferno and Mirage are just the most popular maps right now as far as like how many times they get played, so you can never count those maps out from winding up, especially in a best-of-1 situation.
So before we pull up the pick bands, what do you think it is that we're going to see? Like, you keep mentioning these 2 maps. Do you think realistically we'll end up on either one?
I'm going to say Inferno. I'm just going to say Inferno. Oh my God. Okay, no. Okay.
No Inferno. So it's going to be Mirage?
Yep. Mirage it is.
Yeah, Mirage is definitely a scary situation for Cloud9. You have to understand that Astralis on Mirage have won 13 out of the last 15 games they've played on Mirage. They had a little bit of a rough start, or rough patch, I guess you could say, kind of in the middle of the 2018. But again, they are on a pretty good streak of wins right now on this map. Look really strong on it. So this is not going to be an easy task for Cloud9 at all.
Knowing the map, knowing the teams, knowing what's coming into this one, Evan, why don't you give me a prediction?
I'm going to go 16-7 for Astralis.
Dust, what are you thinking?
I think Astralis, again, is just way too powerful on this map. I think they just have way too many options they can go to tactically. I think that they can play every style of CS on this map. I think that, Mages is probably the best bomb side anchor on CT side of any player in the world on Mirage right now. I think that they device the best operators, so mobile on both sides of the map. I think they just have way too many weapons on a map like Mirage to just outduel Cloud9.
I mean, I'm going to have to pick Astralis as well. I think that's a no-brainer. Coming into this tournament, obviously, hands down the strongest team, but I do believe the casters are standing by, and it's a little bit of a special treat. I believe we've got Moses and DDK in the booth. Take it away, boys.
Yes, indeed. It is a very special treat. What's up? What's up, Dan?
Not too much.
Your fans are all back here. You hear them screaming?
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
This is a good crowd.
You have your code wrapped around them.
I know. This is I'm used to this.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're back into it after the holiday break. Hope everyone had a good holiday. And obviously Cloud9 versus Astralis, the winner's match of this first group, which is going to be, I think, is actually pretty interesting. Obviously Cloud9 underdogs, but they looked good.
Cloud9 is an interesting one. They must be some of the hungriest players out there because you have Rush, who's just been denied having a team that has any stability.
He's just been living in esports hell for 2 years.
Yeah, it's so you got to feel for the guy, and the thing with Rush as well is that if we focus on him just for the moment, he's a player that I feel like he's ready. He's to have career best each and every month. He feels like he's just ready for that moment, and they've had all these roster issues, so it's cool to see that they're finding a good interim solution here in Zelsis, and I think the lineup makes a lot of sense. I think from the roles and the way they gel together, I think everyone's on the same page, and the team has so much firepower.
Yeah, certainly early returns for them have been probably better than most people probably expected it to be, which has been cool. I mean, it hasn't been too much, right? They have Lisbon, and I think now just this one game that they've shown so far against Fnatic earlier. Astralis, they're just still trucking. I mentioned against Complexity that Cole was going to have to just rely on them being like rusty coming out of the gate to start the year. Didn't look like that whatsoever, and we're live into it. For everyone here at iBUYPOWER Masters, Cloud9 taking on Astralis.
Yes, and we already see that Astralis are looking for that B play, and Cloud9 seems like they have an inkling as to this. They're already setting up towards the catwalk position. Nice boost there on the double crate. In goes Astralis, straight into that B bomb site. They've got position, but well, this defense isn't going to be too easy to break back into the bomb site here. Astralis have done a nice job blocking them out. Yeah,
they're going to have to get some really nice shots from Market. Damage is being dealt, and they're still blocked off by the smoke, and now the aggression. Dupree pushes up close, denies a lot of space, and Cloud9 just trying to hold back, but this delay tactic is working perfectly for Astralis.
Yeah, I mean, you're completely right. This delay is so strong at the moment. It's all going according to plan, but Cloud9 have to pick the right moment. But when will that moment be? They're desperately trying to get through these choke points, but the defense, it just seems too strong. But here we go. In goes Rush, in goes Automatic. They get the kills, but will there be the time? Magic's still there to try to delay. Oh, can he see a knee? Can he get it? Oh, just about. And there it is. He holds it down. The last headshot as well. Lovely stuff from Astralis.
That was really, really good. And I mean, you mentioned Cloud9 had to pick their moment wisely, and unfortunately, I think that decision was just taken out of their hands. Astralis never let them find that moment to actually get in. Still almost make it work. It hurts, no kits. That late into a retake, when all those smokes finally fade and you feel like you can finally make your move, it's so deep into the bomb timer. this around to Astralis. We've got a Zeus on Zelsis.
Nice.
That's cheeky from the rookie.
Yes, yes. I have to say, Jason, it's been a while since I cast any Counter-Strike thing for you as well. That first round to me reminds me is one of the things that makes Counter-Strike so exciting. You can see all the tension, the build-up, and then it goes to that one moment, and then when it hits, you're still not quite sure. It's that tug of war, and it does build into this now for Cloud9. As you say, we do have that Zeus, but not really too much else to concern Astralis, and they are, of course, one of the most consistent teams. Probably laughing here because the entire scene has to change their rosters to maybe find a way to deal with them. That's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah, how good they've been has just prompted the entire scene to tear itself apart and trying to find a solution. And it's not just going to be a roster that's going to kind of fix things. It's also going to be, it's also going to be practice. It's going to be hard work and everything like that goes along with it. So, sorry, we just had our monitor flicker off, so we were a bit confused. Rush alone with the Deagle. Glaive has the Zeus now. He's taken it out of Zelsis' cold, dead hands.
Yes, yes. It's looking pretty smooth so far. And this is one of the things also that we know Astralis to be very good at, just that consistency. They are so methodical. They've got great chemistry. And we're in this place as well where I think it's been quite a while now where we've had the Deagle, especially in rounds like this. We're just saving. You buy a couple of Deagles and you can get ridiculous value out of it, almost to the point where it really feels unfair. But Astralis, again, saving all the money, preventing any loss of economy, really making sure they don't give any edges away to Cloud9, who will finally get a buy-in now as we enter round 3, but Astralis have the money. They got to start. They get to take the initiative. This is a very scary way to start off your Mirage if you're their opponents.
They also didn't take too much damage in that second round, so it's not like they have to worry a whole lot. They're able to build up some bank, even small bonus with those UMPs that can still be so deadly in these rounds. And look, fast-paced perhaps with the SMGs. Double eight in towards window. A third comes in late. No offer there from Cloud9. And the AUG starting to get comfortable seeing that on the screen, as Astralis is going to adjust back through T-spawn towards this A bomb site. 3 players on the defense, but Kio's kind of pulled farther away, playing inside of connector, having to worry about mid-pressure. Big job for Rush.
Can he do it, though? Astralis will be throwing the nades in. This is a very quick A push from a default here. Astralis perhaps looking to catch rotation out, and they have isolated Rush there by the balcony. He's going to go down straight away. Automatic locked out. Can't do anything. Completely useless. And once again, everything going according to plan for Astralis. It's going to come down to Cloud9 having to make the hard choice. They got no nades to retake the bomb site. Do they go for it and then be broke if they don't succeed, or do they just pull back?
I think they're going to end up choosing to pull back if they don't get a kill here pretty quick. Again, they don't have kits, and they only have 1 flashbang to make this retake work, and they know they're going to have to smoke off one of Palace or a ramp, but they just don't have it. And there comes the defensive smoke for the retake, and now Cloud9 starts to push in, but the time is a factor.
Hitting Zelsis will get taken down by Dupree, and lots of space cleared here now. Device doing a good job there, stepping up as will Zipex. And that's the worst possible thing here for Cloud9. Astralis, it's almost by a plan that they make you believe. They think that they make you think that, oh, maybe we can actually do this. We get a quick kill. Maybe there's a chance. And then you commit all your money in, and it's flushed down the drain.
Yeah, they took everything away from Cloud9 in that round, didn't they? Only Kio survives with an M4, and you can't buy around that. So another round, Cloud9's going to have to go back to the pistols and back to the drawing board. Astralis is able to salvage 1 M4 and upgrade one of those UMPs for free. Plenty of cash for the Danish side as well. Is that a new Astralis logo?
It does look rather nice and new and fresh, very fiery. I mean, they are constantly on fire, so
it's very millennial.
So it makes sense. Makes sense. We'll see if Cloud9 can find a way to extinguish that with the Deagles. Yeah, 2 Deagles that they have in hand here. Zelsis in position with one of those. Flusher locked out by the smoke, but Zelsis, will they suspect him? Is there an AK? Yes, there is. He's got cover of smoke. One more player. Here's the footsteps. Another one for him. And maybe a chance here for Cloud9 as Zelsis still tries to occupy space here, create distraction, and it's looking like it will work out.
What a round from Zelsis, just patiently waiting for his moment, and he found it this time. Defending this B rush, 3 kills for him so far. Hiding behind bench now, and Device comes in late. 1 minute left, completely blind. They've spotted him out. Zelsis with a peek, and he's going to get his 4th. The rookie delivers in round 4.
Cheeky 4 kills, not bad, not bad. 1 overlooked spot and Zelsis, he's in that spot and he shines. That's definitely what you want to see. Brings a lot of confidence to him, I imagine. You know, not used to playing such Titans on such a stage, perhaps, and so it's a good start for them.
I even just asked him, because I asked him if this is the first stage he's played on. I asked him after that first game, and he said a little bit nervous, but he forgot about it after a couple rounds. Automatic takes a lot of damage just to get that one peek off, and he gets no return, but dupreeh tries to catch him, and Kyo's ready. Good cover, and Automatic needs to find a way back. There goes Kiyoshima, and now he's just zoned in. flusha chiming in just to buy his teammates time. That's all the pressure coming from mid, but Automatic misses his shot.
Yeah, and it starts to slow down now as Cloud9 have to rotate. They don't want to send anyone in alone. They need to use that team play, coordinate themselves back into the bomb site, and they're giving Astralis the respect that they deserve. And once again, we'll have a very key round fought on this A-bomb site.
They can play this passive because they still have the ult, but even though it's low HP, oh, there's the follow-up peek, and good trade from Automatic. That's what I'm talking about. You can at least coordinate Astralis into one side of the bomb site, so you know where they are on the retake. Magisk does not want to take that angle with such low health.
All on the knife edge now here for Astralis with very weak matches. Down to Zipex. Great spray comes in. 2 quick kills from him. I don't believe it. One more player to go. It's Automatic. Is pushing in from Connector, but it doesn't really seem like he can push any further. Drops the smoke defensively, I think, as he wants to try to escape with this AK. And once again, Cloud9 are denied on this A-bomb site.
And once again, Zipnix just coming in clutch. Not even the 1 versus 2 or 1 versus 3, just the double spray down long range. That was a beautiful sequence. And Zipnix delivers in the post plant. Astralis back on the board and a pretty harsh reset on the Cloud9. They're going to buy again. Automatic has the AWP. He'll drop an M4. Zelsis can buy himself. They'll scrape together what they can around that, but they want to continue fighting while they have some of the cash flow.
I really like that round from Astralis too. You know, they show that they are the kings of the fundamentals of Counter-Strike. They go for that fast mid play with a couple players, pull the players from the CT defense towards Connector, then burst out with 3 versus 1 on the guy on stairs, take the site for free. Such just good fundamentals from them, so clean and crisp. And speaking of clean and crisp, Kiyoshima starts things off well for Cloud9.
Yeah, but in return, Automatic goes down. That's the AWP. Someone's going to want to rotate. Probably flusha, who's close by. You could see just wants the weapon. All he has is a deagle. This is going to leave Zelsis very much alone for the time. flusha gets back there quick with that AWP. Some fire exchange over on A ramp. Oh, Zipnik's gonna have to eat that nade down very low. 19 HP, and Zelsis under pressure now. He's falling away, and Magisk is able to clean it up.
That's a beautiful play. They're just lurking in through that B apartments. They actually know they invested 2 players towards that, and they will open it up. They've got over a minute left in a 3 versus 3 with some utility left here between dupreeh and Magisk. Magisk will continue to pressure the bomb site, gain space to allow his teammates in there for a plant. But flusha, he's in a forward position. Will they account for him? He's the difference maker here for Cloud9. Needs to hit that first shot. He's waiting patiently. Distraction from Rush. Can they buy flusha one opportunity to pull the trigger to swing the round back in their favor?
Yeah, he's going to go for the planter. He's trying to be patient, but Astralis is so diligent. They clear it out just at the last moment. Now Rush trying to sneak his way in. Keo with one more kill, and he's going to hold. He's going to allow Rush to take the next step, and it's going to be an easy one. Zipnik's not looking with low health, and it's dupreeh in a one-on-one.
He knows exactly where he is, does Rush. Drops the smoke. Now dupreeh has to start asking questions. That nade, even if it was a full connection, does he know how much health Rush has? No, but there's the dink. Lots of confidence there from Rush. dupreeh knows he has to fall back. He can't really make contact here because Rush will get the kill. Has to play the delay here. Oh no, Rush still gets it. It's their time. There's no kit for Rush.
I think he's got it. I think he's going to just barely have it.
Oh, it's going to be close. Should stay on the camera. There we go.
No!
Oh my goodness gracious me, Rush. Oh, you feel like Cloud9 is just not catching a break right now.
No, they really aren't. That was very narrow, and Rush has got to be frustrated. Good play from dupreeh, just calling the bluff. Gets dinked immediately down to very low health. Says if you have the balls to stick it, go for it. You can have the win, but Rush wanted to finish off that kill first. Probably not a whole lot of confidence in the 10-second defuse.
Oh, it's so hard to know, isn't it? We're seeing so many Kriegs and Orgs. Sort of fun, especially for Device. He's able to get his first kill with that Krieg.
This is
Do you
the
call
kind
it
of...
Krieg these days?
What's that?
Do people still call it the Krieg? Or am I just
sure.
old-fashioned?
I think you're old-fashioned, but I appreciate it. Here we go, Zipnix. Not going to clear that corner, so the machine does make mistakes once in a while. And Zelsis and flusha, really not a whole lot to do.
Yeah, this is one of those situations, isn't it? When you're on that CT side and you start off with no money. It feels like you're fighting this crazy uphill struggle. The other team gets really, they get into your head. They can run the rounds on the T side in a way that can sort of manipulate you in the future rounds to come and just make it very hard to read what you're doing. Astralis always know exactly what Cloud9 have. It's just so difficult to break this.
And now you're at the point, if you're Cloud9 early on in the half, where you just feel like you need to buy, even if you want to save another round for some AWPs, even if you feel like that's the solution, you just need to get those numbers on the board. Down 1-6. There's the op on automatic, but he's got one smoke. He's no armor, and again, no kits. We've seen that come into play a couple times so far into this game. Nice pick from automatic. They needed that. They needed some kind of an advantage, something to be happy about this round, and Magic's so good at this kind of a play. Another test for Zelsis early on, and it seems like they almost are leaning towards that bomb site a little bit early on in these rounds, just to see if he's going to be able to deliver, just to see if he's going to be able to hold up to the task.
And now he really has a massive task. He's got to be the playmaker. He has to put things back in favor, and he will do so perhaps. Gets one kill, but there is one player creeping nearby, and that is Zelsis, lurking around the corner. Doesn't account for him, and he is going to buy so much time here. There's not really almost that much he can do. Caught out by Catwalk players surrounding him from all over the place. And Dupree, I mean, perhaps it's just a walk his demise. See if he can get some damage in. Let's see what he can do.
Jumps through one smoke just to hang out in another. One kill would be great. Anyway, you can limit this money of Cloud9. Rush, he's the next opponent. That's possible, but I think that tag from behind on a Dupree kind of confused him at the last second. 4 players survived for Cloud9, so a little bit of a leg to stand on moving forward. Automatic not going to leave him hanging, and you got Rambo chilling in the background.
Yeah, and you know what? Seeing Cloud9 win a round like that really makes me feel confident. They took the fight to Astralis, found 2 early picks, threw Astralis off their balance in that round, and now they get to try to string some momentum together. Automatic, looking to get aggressive from Connector. And you can see, look at this response from Astralis, really heavily favoring that top mid take straight away in the default, which helps you to defend against early mid aggression. But Cloud9, they are chilled out here, but they are ready to fight to retake it.
2 in Connector. Astralis saw this setup earlier when Dupree tried to punish automatic. Keo still just waiting. There comes one more smoke, jumping in, and it's Keo with Flush's help from Catwalk. Boosted up on the box. Does the damage for the nade to finish it off. And Magisk again gonna test. He wants to find this duel against Zelsis, and at the moment, he's just gonna get boxed in by the Flames.
And once again, Astralis trying to lose players early, but once again, Magisk finds himself a way to open up this B bomb site. We're dropping in here, trying to create all kinds of chaos. Now Flush has got to be so careful. If he goes down here, this could be really, really problematic for Cloud9, and he will. Magisk is just doing so much work, and automatic watches for the cross, but the bomb site is lost.
Oh, Magisk swings out into the open. He wanted that fight against the AWP as well. It's not going to happen. And that was a bit of a disaster. They knew Flusher was on Catwalk. When Magisk gets the first kill, that is a dirty little drive-by. When Magisk gets that kill onto Zelsis, he realizes it's not Flusher, so he knows one more is coming, and these are stunners from Device. Shutting down the retake. They know exactly where Keo is. One more for Device, 3 total in the round. And Astralis again respond immediately.
Yikes. Feels bad, man. It
feels really bad.
I just can't quite get a break. It's just a snowball effect in that round. Magisk again he is just so consistently finding openings through that B apartments. It's hard to do, but when you have a player like that, it can really change the course of how you play your CT side. Because now you start to think, how do we have to put an AWP there now to deal with that push?
And I think that wouldn't be a bad idea, whether it's an AWP or whether maybe Flusha and Zelsis decide to get aggressive. You need to do something to shut Magisk down and ensure that he's not going to be this confident moving forward. You cannot just give him the space over and over, round after round, to get whatever fight he wants in those B holes. Another kill for Magisk as Zelsis goes for some information, and all of Cloud9 collapses immediately after.
Yeah, this is going to be, if this ends up being a truly very one-sided half, Cloud9, they did create some opportunities, but it does really just go to show that Astralis are just so good at finding holes in your game, no matter the situation. There it is, 8-2 for Astralis.
Their play calling is just so decisive that it doesn't necessarily always matter what they do in the early round. Even if even if you get a 2-for-2 trade, they're very good at kind of figuring out which players have rotated where and where the weak spot is in that defense in their 3-on-3. So they're willing to take some risks early on. We've seen them be highly aggressive towards Palace. We've seen it in middle, not always successful, but they find a way to close the round out in the end.
And wow, we have a very quick change of approach it from Astralis. The players going towards Palace. If he wins the first frag, that would be huge. Gets the information, spots the second one, probably heard the third as well. Rush going aggressive towards Ramp. Perfect here for Cloud9. They've shut down the aggression early in the round again. That's where they found success previously. But as you just said, Jason, it's still a lot of play left in this round for Astralis.
You can see everyone. There must have been a chat during that freeze of guys, let's get in their face. Let's make sure they're uncomfortable. Let's not let them have all the space. Even Zels is pushing up in these B halls. This could be perfect. Zipnix and Magic's going to run right into him. They're not ready for it. They jump through the doorway. A good trade. Only one. Over a minute left for Glaive to find something. Thin out the defense. Find a gap, and Flush is in trouble. No teammates to help him, but he still gets out. Help of a flashbang dropped at the feet.
Very tense start there. Here comes Glaive once again, trying to combine with Magis with the ball, but once again, this aggression is really paying off for Cloud9. At 1 versus 2 though for Magis with 50 seconds to go, and he'll be shut down by Automatic. And I think you're right, Jason. I think that we're seeing those mind games where Astralis is saying, you know what, we're doing so well in the B apps. They're probably going to take a 2-man push there. If we hit that A site fast, they're going to be light players. And I mean, is it this?
Yeah. It just goes back and forth, round and round we go. And it might have even been a thing where Cloud9 just says, listen, we'll just keep the B defense the same. Let's push everywhere at A, and let's see if they're here. And if not, we can cheat a rotation. We can have a fast flank come in. Either way, it works out. But you can see Astralis still able to grind that down into a 1-on-2 for Magis when he has full HP. He'll take that any day of the week after losing some of those initial duels over towards that A bomb site.
It's like you're not just playing Counter-Strike when you're playing Astralis, you're also playing chess at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's really difficult to make the right calls. And
you a chess player, Dan? You strike me as a chess player.
It's too no, not really. It's too much memorization for me, man. My memory is too awful. What about you?
No, not a bit.
Checkers guy.
I enjoyed chess. I just wasn't very good at it.
I like checkers because, you know, when you get to like that piece at the end of the board, you can stack them up. It feels very strong.
Yeah,
I like it.
I think it's called being kinged.
Yeah, there you go. So, Astralis now have to answer Cloud9's success. Can Cloud9 actually string some momentum together? Because despite how dominant the first half of the half has looked, there's so much opportunity to turn around for Cloud9.
There's been some cool things for Cloud9. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to win 2 rounds in a row yet in this game. And look at this, a small switch in the D, actually a big switch from the B bomb site over towards Palace. Playing the ends of the map is Zelsis as they swap over, and look at Rush. They saw this aggression in the previous round, and they're being very wary of it again. Rush gets away with his health. Takes a lot off of Zipnix. This leads that B side of the map. This is actually a big risk for Cloud9 considering B has been under so much pressure. The only defense there is automatic with an AWP looking for the window cross.
And that's an opportunity, that smoke there for Flusher to move forward to that UMP, but maybe the pacing's too much. Zelsis really needs some assistance. He will have Kiyoshima coming in from Ticket, but very careful how you handle this one. Kiyoshima will find himself an unaware Glaive and looking for more here, and he's just delaying them, just creating opportunities perhaps for another teammate to do something, and there it is. Zelsis goes in, Kiyoshima finds another one. The team play is stellar from Cloud9, and that will deliver them a 4th round, and they're starting to string some together. This has got to feel good for them.
Astralis almost threw him for a loop, though. You could see that defense was starting to switch over to the B bomb site, and Astralis just takes that left turn up connector, almost catches him off guard. But Zelsis had cleared out all of T-spawn. He had pushed Palace. He knew there was going to be no one ramp, especially after Rush was there earlier and only saw Zipnix. He could play with his back turn, didn't have to worry about it whatsoever. Now we've got pistols for Astralis, so finally some of the pressure subsides.
Really feels like we're getting a game on our hands now. You know, Cloud9, they're showing there's some signs of life. They should, touch wood, win this round. That'll be a 5-8, and all of a sudden, you know, we've got a close match. It's only 2 Deagles in play, Jason. Almost called you James.
Yeah.
Both, you know, 2 letters in common at the beginning of your names. Yeah. Easy mistake to make.
We look alike. Neither of us have hair.
Wow. Look at the respect here. You don't want anything to go wrong.
Yeah, that's the feeling. It's just like, please, God, no one hit a Deagle shot. Rush with that AUG. He spots one at A ramp, but he's got to be careful. That's a really tough position to be in. He managed it so well. Tapping away with an AUG that we can just see becoming deadlier and deadlier as time goes on, as players spend more time with it in their hands, and they're really starting to figure this weapon out. There's the Deagle, there's the head gone, and Magis gets him next in a little mouse road backward, and well done from Rush. Some precision shots.
Yeah, I think you make a really good point. That position is very uncomfortable with an AK or an M4, but as you say, that scope actually does make an enormous difference in defending from it. So, because I know that, you know, anyone's been playing the game a while, you stand there you just feel like this. I'm just scared of Connecto. I'm just scared bad.
No, that box sucks. I absolutely hate being there. I'm just like, this is the worst. So many angles to worry about. And now there's a lot of guns for Cloud9 to worry about. AK-47s across the board for Astralis on the attack. And this time, they're not pulling any punches. Just straight brute force towards this A bomb site. One pop flash, not even, but they don't check. Rush is aggressive. They've gotten aggressive on the choke points, and it's working so well. The AWP at long range in support, and Keo's gonna get another. Astralis are decimated in this round.
Very, very nice. They go for the gamble, do Astralis. They want to get that contact play in action. And it leaves Glaive in the 1 versus 4. And he's starting things off well, but there's surely too much. Indeed, there will be too much to handle as another round is conceded by Astralis. As Cloud9 are really taking initiative again, just being aggressive. It's about catching Astralis in a gamble, as we just saw, or just being aggressive and taking away their early decisions.
It's about being respectful while not giving up too much, right? Because you can see Astralis had way too much space to work with when they built up that huge lead, and Cloud9 seems to have changed the way they wanted to play. We haven't seen Astralis adjust to it quite yet. They're going to go back towards A, back towards all this aggression. They're saying eventually Cloud9's going to have to stack towards that B bomb site instead. And indeed, they have Zelsis with an AWP up in those halls. That's going to allow Flusha to play catwalk, and actually a third player is going to be far more dedicated towards this A bomb site, but Keo's blocked off by a wall of smokes.
And now this should be okay for Cloud9. They have a lot. Oh, this is a nice boost, and it's going to pay off. Very, very lovely stuff there from them. And indeed, they have so much retake utility that Cloud9, they just have to wait out the smoke. And there you go. Carney can barely get the bomb down in time.
There's Keo chiming in now that all the smokes have cleared your attack. Playing retake, you get to save a lot of the nades, and they don't even need them. They're getting all the frags, and it looks like Cloud9 is going to pretty much even up this half after a terrible start. 6-8. A great recovery for the American. Well, they're not really American anymore, are they?
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it?
Whoops.
It's a strange one. We're having to adjust, get used to it, but honestly, for me, it's just good to see Cloud9, if they can find stability in this roster, I'll be so happy for them. And some of the players, they've been working so hard. And again, there's so much potential on this team to be very strong.
Entirely. Yeah. I think this Cloud9 roster can be very cool to watch throughout this year.
Just the fact that, I mean, when Flusha joined the lineup, I was like, okay, sure, Flusha coming in as a sweet on to Cloud9, yeah, it feels a little bit weird, but it makes a lot of sense, especially at the time when Golden was leading and playing, and they had the kind of players that are good at that fanatic, kind of scrappy, fast-paced mid-round kind of style. So it's they got the pieces, and it's very refreshing to see Automatic just picking up the AWP and just being so good at being very quick and aggressive with it and being very surprising, very clutch.
The cool thing about that too is, I mean, we I don't want to make the comparison too far here, but Automatic, much like Device, is another guy who, when he picked up the AWP, when you talk to him, he'll tell you he spends a lot of time studying AWPers. He spends a decent amount of time just going over how to play, where to position. It's a completely different kind of style of play when you have that AWP. So putting in the hours, and we're seeing dividends early on for him and for Cloud9, 7-8 as they're 1 round back and another pistol round. 4 players headed towards mid. It's Automatic with a flashbang over in Palace. He already used his smoke, and oh, they're lucky to get away. Glaive, that could have been an easy headshot with the USP. They're going to make their way up catwalk. They got to turn this corner, get into the smoke. The follow-up, though, at top connector, that's going to help them out. That's going to ease their minds.
I think I'm going to try to burst through with a flashbang. That's very sneaky, suggesting the push, the split into the B bomb site, but at the same time, Zipex is asking questions. He's over on B. He's like, guys, there's nothing over here. Cloud9, they'll be pushing in. Or actually, no, they're still holding, waiting for a response from Astralis, and no one wants to give anything. The flashbang comes in, and there it is, down to the headshot, and it's going to start off well for Cloud9.
Oh, Magisk is in so much trouble. We just talked about this spot. Oh my lord! Magisk, he's going to work his way out. And now he's going to fall back. Now he's giving his team a 2-on-2. Miraculously, and he's finally shut down, but so is Keo, and it's Dupree. 1-on-1, and Flusha stuck over towards jungle, waiting for the peek. He's got that USP. There's the headshot. Somehow salvages the round.
Oh my god. what on earth was that? Just out of nothing, Magisk finds himself 2 brilliant kills, gives his team a chance back in it. You don't know what's going to happen until the very last shots are fired. And thank God for Cloud9, they managed to turn that one around. They get a chance to actually win a pistol. And now we get to see how things start off when Astralis are in the same shoes as Cloud9 were.
Well, hold on to that thought, because Astralis has something to say, and they're doing it with Deagle and USP across the board. There goes Automatic, a 2-on-4. Can't get too comfortable too quickly.
They only have USPs, Jason.
I know, it's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Device now getting aggressive, and he still just has the pistol, still just the USP. Magisk in the window is still to back up with the Deagle, and Device is going to creep up. He wants that angle, he's going to get it, but dropped for his efforts. Cloud9 can be patient here. 1 minute and 15 seconds. They need to just take a breath and get their bearings.
I think I need to take a breath as well. This shouldn't be happening. USPs. Wow. If you drop your USP, Jason.
You've done it again.
It's gonna keep happening.
It's gonna happen a lot.
It's just gonna keep happening. Let's just
Yeah,
accept it.
You guys are a cute couple.
But if you drop your USP, you'll spawn with a new one next round for free, Jason. That's how.
That's where we were going with that.
That's what we're talking about here. And look at this. The deal comes in. Magisk is ready, but Kiyoshima is ready too, and he's got an AK-47. So the world is righted once again.
That was actually, I really like that call from Xyp9x and Magisk, what they were doing. Xyp9x just holding the B bomb site. Magisk going to try and funnel him there. The only problem with it is there's just so much time on the clock. If that play was coming in like right now, then there's not really necessarily the opportunity for Cloud9 to keep checking your flank, keep checking behind you. Xyp9x at the moment just wants to go towards mid and pick up a weapon of some sort. It's about the best he can hope for. Allow him to get some extra nades, because the plant is going to be going down at this B bomb site. And it should be a 1 round for Cloud9.
But the damage, you just don't. That's the problem. Like that, really makes you feel quite fragile in the following round. And of course, you never want to not take the risk if you think that's a good play. You've got to take risk in Counter-Strike, but it doesn't feel quite as good when you know that if you lose it straight away, you're going to be in trouble. So they don't have that buffer like Astralis did. It's a messier start for Cloud9, but we'll see how they can right the ship as things go forward. I'm really curious to see what kind of preparation they have with this lineup on the T sides. I think that's going to be really interesting, especially on a map like Mirage.
It will be cool to kind of see how many set pieces they may or may not have. But I mean, even if they don't have a whole lot, they have the proper players to kind of frag out a little bit, get a little bit crazy, a little bit wild. Now the two C9 players have split up. Kyo, he really wants to go for that peek, it feels, but he's not going to turn the corner wisely. Xyp9x holding the angle with a free Galil. So Cloud9 do escape just barely in that round. I think the first 2 kills went towards Astralis with USPs and a Deagle, so they were on the back foot pretty early on. 9-8, Cloud9 take their first lead of the game.
It's a long road still for both these teams. I think this one is going to be one of those very, very close matches here, as long as Cloud9 can establish themselves. But Automatic holding. We actually have a very passive default to kick things off here for Cloud9. Incredibly passive, because we don't even have forward presence towards ramp or palace. We just have one player watching that from T-Spawn here. So this is a really interesting start from them.
It makes you feel like the focus for Cloud9 is going to be either on the B bomb side, obviously, or towards mid. But you can't imagine they're going to be going A through palace or ramp. If they go back, especially if it's super late in the round, they have to spend a lot of time clearing out a lot of angles, a lot of corners, and being worried about anyone pushing up. So that side of the map is essentially very, very scary for Cloud9. There's the nade. Utility lets them know they're going to start turning the corner. Good timing on it. Not too much damage. Oh, the follow-up, though, is great. Automatic and Zelsis down to half HP. No one's even seen anyone yet.
Yeah, 50 seconds to go. And, well, doesn't seem like you need to see anyone to get the kills. T3 going in with a flashbang, wants to get the info. He got the kill, wants to get the info. He's going to keep pushing. He's going to find a lot of value from that push. And now there's real trouble here for Cloud9. They've burnt a lot of time from the clock without really doing all that much. And Dupree is loving it. And
they don't have the option to go back towards the A bomb site, as we talked about earlier. They were so passive there, that's just not available to him. And Dupree is essentially playing 2 offensive halves here. They're going to try and hunt him down. It's going to take time. It's going to take life. Rush falls, and Dupree gets another. He's on the verge of an ace somehow.
Wow, he started off with a kill in the smoke and a Galil. He's turned it into this. Dupree, and he's found Automatic. Can he get the kill? Surely not. Coming out. And of course he has all the confidence in the world, but it'll be Glaive to take it down, and they'll steal away an AWP for their troubles if they want it. They didn't actually pick it up, I don't think.
Yeah, no, they got it right at the end.
Oh, okay, nice. Yes. But I mean, I like the approach from Cloud9, because if your opposition wants to start out by going for a mid take and they do it, maybe they don't go deep enough to fall into the crosshairs of Europa. But they make a bunch of plays, they use a bunch of utility, and they don't quite match up with the right flow of how that round will go from the T side. And so then it gets a little bit weird on a pacing perspective. But for Cloud9, it just really backfired.
Yeah, it felt like a weird round. I'm not really entirely sure what the plan was, and that might have been one of those things. I mean, you mentioned how well drilled are they going to be with this team on their T side, and that one felt like it was a very cerebral strategy with a lot of moving parts that just didn't pan out. Astralis also, you could see, just great reads with the utility. As soon as they, if it's quiet for 30 seconds and you start seeing some smokes out, you know the moves are about to be made. The first step for Cloud9 is coming. Nades into the choke points, and you've got yourself a lot of damage for free.
And it definitely helps Dupree just going off like that. It's so cool to have like a bunch of players like that on your team. They can just take...
What a pleasure.
Ooh, nicely done. Through the smoke, Glaive, he's known for it.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, he's one of his skill sets. I can't do that. I just don't have the feel.
Yeah, it doesn't work for everyone, does it?
Yeah, you just gotta have those hours, man, and just
Flusha was known for that at one point too.
Yeah.
Nades out towards top mid, and it's just pistols, just P250 and Cloud9. I mean, the damage they took in that second round, as you mentioned, losing that, all their money is gone, so they had to sit a round out, and I think still, I don't even think they can buy in this round. Now it's like right on the edge of what you can do on this T side. I think they might just choose to do a half buy and go for a more powerful, impactful purchase in the next.
Yeah, it's definitely not the best situation in the world. And indeed, you made the point about some of the differences between Astralis and Cloud9 and how we don't quite know how well routine they are, but they're going to be walking straight into the ice. Okay. Oh dear, oh dear. That's not what you wanted to happen. The lineup. Smoke doesn't really help them out all that much. In fact, maybe it made it even harder to see where they were getting shot from.
Oh dear.
Life is not good right now for Cloud9.
Device is loving it. Actually, it seems like Dupree's loving it even more. He's got a big smile on his face. Device seems like an ace is just another day in the office. Here we go. Guns back out for Cloud9. 2 rounds back on the pistols, so they've got to be happy about this one. AWP and Automatics hands, all 5 players. This is a much more simple strategy. All 5 towards A ramp. No one even in Palace. They've got to wait out this Molotov. Now a deep nade comes in, and they're going to push forward with it. Rush leading the way, turning the corner. He's expecting Magus to be deeper, and there's the crossfire.
That first kill is so huge. As you said, that crossfire can then be utilized to full effect. Cloud9 still trying to barrel through behind these smokes. It's fast play. It's all about catching or getting there before the rotation arrives, but it has arrived. The delay from that initial couple of defenders is really good here. It's done the job. You can see Device is lurking over the smoke on the bench, and Glaive lurking from above as well. Pushing forwards, it doesn't seem like it should be possible, but Astralis has such a strong presence.
I think you're starting to get the answer about Cloud9's T side. They have gotten battered in another buy round. No progress to be made. Nice crossfire between Glaive and Magus to shut that down. One player in Palace, and that's why it was interesting seeing all 5. If one player's in Palace, he can actually take out Glaive. He can take that fight, so you can't focus towards one choke point as the defense.
And the really sad thing for them as well is that if that first entry kill into the player in Shadow happens, then there's no crossfire, and then the team can move forward up to the bomb site, and then all of a sudden it's probably an easy, they can throw more nades. They had lows left because they went contact, and they can actually have maybe it's like a 3v3 situation, and it's just that first kill. It makes so much of a difference. That's why entry fragging it's quite nuts.
Love your entry fraggers, is what you're saying.
Yes,
they go through a lot just to try and get one very important kill.
Impact frags.
12-9. Astralis starting to run away with it.
Pistols again. You converted to the Tech 9 yet?
Am I converted to the Tech 9? I didn't know there was a movement to convert to the Tech 9. I didn't know it was a cult.
Well, I guess it's just the fact that the season has been getting gradually worse. People are switching over, giving it a try. Doesn't work for me, Jason.
Listen, I ride or die with the P2 all day long.
That's true. I've actually seen some disgusting stuff from you. The honest P250.
It's a beautiful, beautiful pistol. Smoke is going to delay things. They might just take the risk and go right through it. Don't have a whole lot to, I mean, you're not going to try and hold on to rifles or anything like that, and especially with that information. Yeah, right through. Good trade for Keo with that CZ that you think has been weakened. Good dink onto Keo as well, but he's got the M4. He can just pass it over to a high HP player, and Magus still doing work. No reason for him to calm down. No reason for him to move from that spot. And Zipnix as well. The odd transfers down to Keo and finally finished off.
Yeah, that like a peak like that from Zivix right at the end there, that's actually just like, you know what, I feel like, you know, I'm so confident that my team are going to do well. Like, I don't even have to, because otherwise I don't think he peeks that normally ever. So, and why would he have to worry? Flusher has a measly Tech 9. He will be eliminated by Dupree, 13-9, and it really does seem like after that first half, we saw a lot of fight out of Cloud9, we saw a lot of class. It does seem to be like they are struggling to find that extra gear in this T side of theirs.
None of their gun rounds have gone well. None of them have been close. Astralis has been able to shut them down handily. We'll see if they can do it again. Not a whole lot of gun rounds left for Cloud9 in this game. This time it's very similar. 4 on ramp. They have that one player in house. He's holding the way. Clutches far earlier. Maybe miscommunication, but a good trade from Zealous as they move in. No smokes down as of yet, and that's going to leave the op there for a shot, but Dupree can't handle it. Now he's forced back as well.
Starts to get a little bit hairy here for Astralis as that ball goes down. But as I say that, 2 quick kills coming in from Zipex. I don't even know how or where or what or why, but it's happened, and it's a 3v1 for Astralis now as it's just automatic by the ramp, and the bomb is not planted, which makes his position very, very difficult. And that's before we get to the fact that the flank is on the way. Dupree coming in from the back. Automatic. 1 versus 2, not much he can do, and that's a 14-9 score line for Astralis.
Where was Zipnix? Was he in spawn?
I think I have no idea, Jason. He's everywhere.
He's just a god.
He's omnipresent.
Yeah, that was very nice. Delaying or stopping the plant as well. The nades in, and yeah, now we're starting to get that answer. This offensive side maybe a little bit too early on in the tenure of this lineup for Cloud9 to expect a whole lot out of this. The attacking side, 9-14, running out of opportunities. Going for a mid-take. Flusha jumps out. He's going to lead the way again. Flash towards connector. There's a smoke at the top, so he can get up towards catwalk, but Device is waiting patiently around the edge of the smoke, and he's going to see the leg, and he's going to find the head, but Rush spams through for the trade.
And that's a really good trade. That's going to speed things up into the apartments of Kiyoshima as he starts to push forward to challenge into Zipex. But always pressure coming in from Rush. That's going to force Dupree to perhaps evacuate here, and they're really feeling that B play coming in, so they start to shuffle around his lane. Takes down 2. That is fantastic for Astralis, but Kiyoshima, he had to get that kill. But with Celsius opening up A as well, what do you do here if you're in Astralis' shoes? But at least by silencing Kiyoshima, they start to make sense of things.
I think this is a last-ditch effort from Cloud9. You can see in this round it got a little bit hectic. I think the reins have been loosened to allow the players a little bit more individual freedom to find something, and there was just no way Kyo could have expected that second player to be playing at bench to transition into the bomb site. At that point, Zelsis left in a 1 versus 2. The bomb is down in mid. He's got Glaive at low HP, so that might be a chance to get a quick kill before being able to transfer over to catwalk. Here he comes. Not expecting Glaive at that angle. And it's a 3rd kill on the round and a 15th round for Astralis.
Such a struggle, isn't it? It does feel like some of the rounds that Cloud9 have selected to go with, some of these fast contact plays, where they know if they just get that entry frag, they know that they can get a bomb down, they can pay a close spawn, and sure, Astralis is going to have a lot of utilities early in the rounds for retakes, but if they think that's their best chance, it tells us, it gives us the message that they're not super confident in their T size.
Dupree's been a little bit shaky with this AWP in this game. Hasn't been as on point as we've come to expect him to be. Hasn't caused any lasting damage though, obviously. And oh, that's so dirty. 15-9, and you have this much information. You're just shrinking the map. Flush is aware of the possibility though, and he's going to catch him. That's the bomb as well. Glaive might be able to call out that he was transitioning back. Might be able to pass on some information, but not a whole lot.
Now things get really interesting because Astralis have confidence. They've got the disadvantage here. Do they go for an aggressive play, or do we see them tighten up and just fall further back, fall down the A side, fall towards B? Well, Device took his presence in towards mid, and suddenly 4 people are dead. I have no idea how that just happened. It's a 2 versus 3 Cloud9. They've got Kiyoshima in mid. He can come through connector, and Flusher can combine into that A push.
Thanos snapped his fingers on that one, and everyone went down. Great nade as well. Good follow-up. Molotov put out 3-on-2 in the favor of Astralis. As Cloud9 tries to take this A bomb site, and Astralis gets passive. They don't mind giving it up.
Miss coming in, and Dink is there. Dupree holding strong, but not strong enough. Kiyoshima will have him easily. 1 versus 2 for him, though. He's got to be clutch. He's got to be fast. And there it is. Turns this back to Zipex. That's the 16-9. Astralis showing us once again just how solid they are, no matter what the situation is.
Yeah, that was the winners match as well for Group A, so that means Astralis is going to be moving on to the semifinals, which will be played tomorrow. We'll yet to see who they meet. They're the first team that I know of that is moved on. Not sure how the other stream matches are going, but yeah, dominant win. I think again it was one of those things where you see some cool things out of Cloud9, but it did just feel too early on that T side to expect them to be able to overcome Astralis' defense. Yeah,
it did seem to feel like, to me, they were starting to rely on the more gambly type of T side, which is fine. That's completely fine. If that's how you feel like that's the best chance to win the game, they did good enough on that first off that if they did win the right rounds with some of those plays, those contact plays, get that entry frag, snowball it a little bit, maybe it's Counter-Strike. Maybe in the best of one, that's all you need. But it does show a lack of depth there on that T side. Yeah, it's just a situation where you saw Astralis on their offense. They got to put Cloud9 into that economic zone where you just can't really afford. You get a couple easy rounds. Cloud9 never got the easy rounds. You just got, Yes, yeah. Yeah, it was a bit rough. There was a moment in the first half where I was like, I felt so bad for them. I'm like, it feels like they're playing so well, but that one thing, I try to find that one thing.
It's so cute the way they try.
But I have to say, as you said, Celsius, first time on a stage.
Yeah.
And he performed pretty well.
Yeah, he had that great round over in the B apartments, that 4 kill to kind of save the round and everything like that. So I think we've seen some good things out of him today so far in this event. And I guess it's just going to take time to kind of pinpoint exactly where he's at. Either way, we're going to head back over to Bach and the boys on the desk.
All right, thank you very much, Jason. Appreciate that. A bit of an interesting turn of events here as we got a little distracted there. That feedback hit my ears. Cloud9, they do still survive. Like, they're not out yet, but Astralis obviously makes it into day 2.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that I think that first half was just way too brutal, right? I mean, Cloud9 gets hard reset twice, and that allows Astralis to go up. I think it was like 8-2. Did a little bit of resurgence from Cloud9. I think that what they really banked off of was the fact that they were able to get really aggressive on their CT side. Like Kiwashima would push a ramp, or he'd push mid. He'd get a couple of kills. We had that one round where Rush was pushed up close and caught a Palace push. So I think some of the forward positioning that Cloud9 were able to achieve in the latter first half got them back in the game, but then Astralis just suffocated them on their own CT side. There wasn't really anything there for Cloud9 on their gun rounds.
I kind of expected it to play out that way. Cloud9 showing a little bit of life, on their CT side, definitely the easier half. But once you move on to T side, you need a little bit more organization. You need a little bit more structure. You need a little bit more time together, right? And that's what Cloud9 didn't have when you're going up against a team like Astralis. Once they roll on to CT side, just another day in the park for them, right? They know exactly what's happening. And they're going to go ahead and just simply stomp through their CT.
I will say this, the one interesting thing that I think we got to learn from watching Astralis play this game was, their trademark CT tool was Device's op and how mobile he is, how he can kind of change his starting locations, or after he gets a kill, move to a different position. He didn't even op any of those CT rounds. I think Dupree had the AWP every single time, and he was using an AUG. So that was an interesting change. I don't know if that's going to be something that's persistent, but it was neat to note that, and it wasn't even spawn-based. I thought it was at first, but as the half kind of progressed, I just kept seeing Dupree always having the AWP, and he's a capable secondary opper, and at times was the primary opper. But it was interesting to see that change, and I'm kind of curious, how that plays out in time.
I mean, one of the things about Counter-Strike is it's about who makes less mistakes, and obviously Cloud9 made a few mistakes. Astralis is the type of team to really punish you for those mistakes, and that was really what was key.
Yeah, Astralis definitely showed that this is why they're the best in the world, right? Not ever kind of wavering through that match. Yeah, Cloud9 had moments where they were strong in it, but overall it was pretty much Astralis just coming through whenever they wanted, whenever they found an opening pick. Even if Cloud9 got that opening pick, there was a good chance that Astralis within a few seconds was trading it or getting an opening pick on another side of the map. You were pointing it out when we were watching it in the green room. When your opper's got an AK like that, and we were talking about Device, I mean, how can you really stop them? Device was running around with an AK. They were down and op in times, and they really had no problem with it. It was a great display out of Astralis. Definitely, I wouldn't say it was one of their harder matches, right? I definitely think that going throughout this tournament, we'll see them really tested, moving on into the playoff brackets. But definitely going up against Cloud9, I think it was more so Cloud9 showing a lot of life.
That's the problem is anytime you're in a best-of-1 situation and Astralis gets to ban 3 maps, you're out of luck at that point, because it's all right, we won't play Cash, we won't play Train, Overpass is giving us a little bit of trouble, let's get rid of that. And then every other map there, I mean, they have substantially crazy winning streaks on. So Yeah, there just was never really any hope, especially with the situation Cloud9's been in. I mean, they've had a different fifth the last 3 or 4 tournaments in a row. So when you have that level of instability and that, probably limited amount of practice through it all, it's going to be hard to go up against a team that's been together, I think, since either February or March of last year. So almost together for an entire year, 16 tournaments played. This is their 17th event. It's just hard to go up against that, especially when they're the best team in the world.
Well, I mean, is there a silver lining right now for Cloud9? Looking at that, they did put up a decent number of rounds, maybe more than I would have given them. Is that just because they started on the right side of the map? Like, maybe if that's flipped and Astralis is starting on the CT side, this is more of a blowout.
Yeah. No, go ahead, Dustin.
I just think that the one positive thing you can take away from Cloud9 in the 2 games we've seen so far today is at the very least some of the individual levels of their players have looked a little bit sharper than maybe the last few events they played last year. Like Rush has looked a little bit better so far this event. Kiwashima's continuing to play pretty well. Zelsis is not doing too shabby for, having to take a huge step up in the level of competition he's playing against. He's going from playing against Mountain Dew League teams to playing against the best team in the world. So that's a pretty huge leap. And he's hanging in there. So, I mean, he's hanging in there. Like, it's not like he's knocking your socks off, but he's not a detriment. So I think that in time he'll just kind of keep growing.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Cloud9, they're not out of it yet. So hopefully we see them move on into the playoff bracket. I definitely think they're deserving of it, especially after that performance with what little practice they have.
Yeah, I imagine they're probably going to be playing against Fnatic again, and I think that rematch will just decide who gets 2nd seed unless Complexity pulls out something crazy.
Well, that is the match we have coming up in just a bit. It's going to be Complexity and Fnatic to determine who's going to be playing Cloud9 for that 2nd seed to make it into the playoffs tomorrow. We are going to throw things to a break, and when we return, it'll be more of the iBUYPOWER Masters 2019. Stay tuned.